Hey everybody, welcome back to the Haunted Territory. I'm your host, and tonight we're going deep into the hills of West Virginia, a place most folks have never heard of, and the ones who have, they don't talk about it, not if they're smart. This one's called The Echoes of Black Hollow. It was the summer of 2019 when Jake Harlan, a 28-year-old sound engineer from Pittsburgh, decided he needed to get away from everything. His girlfriend had left, his job was killing his soul, and he figured the only way to reset was to disappear into the woods with nothing but his backpack, a good microphone, and his old Sony recorder. He found the spot on an old Reddit thread that barely had any comments. Black Hollow Trail, untouched forest, insane natural reverb for field recordings. The last person who posted said, "Best audio I've ever captured. Just don't go after dark." Then the account was deleted. Jake laughed it off. He loved the woods. He'd hiked AT twice. What could a random hollow in West Virginia do to him? He drove 6 hours, parked his Tacoma at the rotting trailhead, and started hiking in around 3 p.m. The air felt heavier the second he crossed the tree line. Not hotter, heavier, like the forest was breathing on the back of his neck. By 6:30, he found the ruins. An entire abandoned coal town from the 1930s swallowed by the pines. Collapsed company houses, a tipped-over water tower, and a little white church that somehow still stood almost perfectly straight, except all the windows were boarded from the inside. Jake set up camp 50 yards from the church, built a small fire, and started recording ambient night sounds. That's when he first noticed it. The echo. Every little noise he made, snapping a stick, zipping his tent, even clearing his throat, came back to him, but delayed and slightly wrong, like someone was repeating it a half-second later in a lower tone. He thought it was cool at first. He started testing it. "Hey, testing. 1, 2. The forest whispered back. "Hey, testing. 1, 2. Same voice, but it sounded tired, almost sad. Jake grinned and kept recording. Around 11:47 p.m., the fire started dying. He threw on more wood and decided to do one last test before sleep. He walked right up to the front of the old church, put the recorder on the steps, and spoke clearly. "My name is Jake Harlan. I come in peace. If anybody's here, talk to me." 10 full seconds of silence. Then the recording played back his own voice perfectly, followed by a child's voice, clear as day, right next to the microphone. He always says that. Jake's blood went cold. He spun around. Nothing. Just trees and moonlight. He laughed nervously. Okay, that was creepy as hell. Probably bounced off something weird. But he moved his tent another 30 yards back anyway. At 3:12 a.m., he woke up to the sound of his own voice. Not from the recorder. From outside the tent. "Jake, you should have left before dark, man."
It was his exact voice, his Pittsburgh accent, his slight rasp from smoking too much in college. But he was inside the tent, frozen. The voice spoke again, closer this time.
Jake,
you left your recorder by the church, bro.
I can hear you breathing.
Jake realized he had. In his panic, he'd forgotten it. He slowly unzipped the tent, headlamp on red light. The recorder was sitting right outside his tent flap. He didn't remember bringing it back.
Jake, where are you, Jake?
He hit play. What came out wasn't his test from earlier. It was hours of audio he never recorded. First, his own voice talking in his sleep. They're still digging. They're still down there. Then the sound of pickaxes, hundreds of them. Men screaming in pain. A woman crying in a language that sounded like broken English from the 1930s. And underneath all of it, that same child's voice calmly saying, "They covered us up. They covered us up and poured concrete." Jake's hands were shaking so bad he dropped the recorder. When he picked it up, the child spoke live through the speaker. "You're standing on the schoolhouse, Jake." He looked down. His tent was pitched directly on a flat concrete slab covered in moss and pine needles. He never noticed it when he sat up. That's when the real sound started. From deep inside the hollow came the noise of hundreds of people slowly walking through the woods toward him. No talking, just footsteps, dragging, wet coughing, the sound of coal dust being breathed in and out. Jake broke. He grabbed his pack and ran for the trailhead in the dark. He ran for what felt like forever. The footsteps stayed exactly the same distance behind him. Never faster, never slower. Like they knew exactly how fast he could go. His headlamp started flickering. Then it died completely. In total darkness, he kept sprinting, branches tearing his face, until he slammed straight into something solid. It was the church. He had run in a perfect circle. The front doors were now wide open. Inside, every pew was filled with silent figures wearing old mining clothes, faces completely black with coal dust, only their eyes reflecting what little moonlight came in. In the front row sat a little boy, maybe 9 years old. Clean face, no coal dust. He looked straight at Jake and smiled. The boy opened his mouth and Jake's own voice came out. "You should have left before dark, man." Jake screamed and ran again. This time, the forest let him go. He reached his truck as the sun was coming up. He locked the doors, started the engine, and floored it. He didn't stop driving until he crossed the Pennsylvania state line. 3 weeks later, Jake uploaded the audio files anonymously to a private horror forum with the title, Black Hollow, Real or Fake. The files got 47 downloads before every single person who listened to them reported the same thing. At the very end of the last recording, after Jake's scream, there's 20 seconds of silence. Then a new voice. A calm, adult male voice that sounds exactly like Jake will sound in about 10 years. It says, "Thanks for bringing the recorder back, son. We needed fresh ears down here. See you soon." Every person who downloaded it started having the same dream, standing inside that church while the floor slowly opens like a mouth, revealing a flooded mine shaft full of floating mine sickles still holding their pickaxes.
Jake himself was found dead in his apartment 4 months later. Cause of death? Carbon monoxide poisoning. But the weird part? His apartment had electric heat. No gas. No furnace. The coroner noted that his lungs were completely black with coal dust. Now here's the part that actually scares me. Last month, I got a package. No return address. Just a dirty old Sony recorder wrapped in 1930s newspaper. Inside was one new file. It's Jake's voice. But he's talking. Right now. In real time. While I'm recording this. He says my name. He says the name of this channel. He says tonight's date. And then he whispers, "Tell him to come find me. The hollow gets lonely." If you're watching this right now, I need you to do 3 things for me. First, smash that like button. Not for the algorithm. Do it so the YouTube gods know this story needs to be seen. Second, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because if something happens to me, I need you guys to keep the haunted territory alive. Third, and most important, drop the word hollow in the comments if you're brave enough to hear more stories like this. I read every single one. And if enough of you type it, next week I'll tell you what happened when I played that recorder. But whatever you do not search for Black Hollow Trail. Do not go looking for it. Some territories were never meant to be found twice. This has been the Haunted Territory. Stay out of the woods after dark, guys. I'll see you in the next one, if I'm still here.